Okay, I have a project here that is nearing completion. I started out with one of these brie boxes. This one's larger than the one I used here. Um, this one holds a 16 ounce. I think this was an 8 ounce brie. And on the lid, I've painted a lot of green foliage, and I poked holes through to the other side so these little fairy buttons, the button back goes through and they're all tied in securely on the other side. I glued some little ribbon flowers all around them and put a bit of Dimensional Magic by Mod Podge to give it a bit of a sheen. Now the edges I inked with some felt tip pens, and then I put 2 layers of glow in the dark fabric paint, and on the back side I covered the ties and the button backs of the fairies with some paper that's glued down. I have copper distress ink poured in around it, and it's been inked with some green ink pads, and I've dotted it all over with some glow in the dark paint. And when it's exposed to sunlight or a lamp, it should glow at night. Now let me move this out of here. I have on the inside of the box, I have a little fairy button, and as you can see, the back I didn't tie anything to because the person I intend this for might want to do something else with it. Anyway, I've made her a nice little bed from a seashell, and I don't know if you can see the glitter on here, but it's coated gently with some stickles, and the bedding includes some Spanish moss that we grow on the trees around here in South Carolina, and a piece of potpourri rose. I made her a little rug from some bandage cloth, and I cut it to the right size and put some brown distress inks on it, and then put more stickles on here, which you can see, and it's glued down. Now the extra special thing that I've made to go in here is this tiny lapbook, which I'm going to try to share. Let's see if I can. I didn't use my tripod. What was I thinking? Okay, so anyway, let me set the camera down for a second and get into this. I gotta untie the ribbon, and then I can show you what I've done. But I was watching Nik the Booksmith's lapbook demonstration, and I thought my fairy project needs one. So I took out my trusty package of strike on the box matches, and if you take 2 of these boxes and remove the matches and set them aside. You don't need them. You've got this cover. I used 2 of these covers and split them down the side here. And well, one of them I just cut this end off completely. So that's the first outfolding book. The second one I cut in half down both spines so that it could be the flip out, fold out lap book. And here is the lap book. Let me open it. I really should have used my tripod. Okay, in the very first section, la la la, I glued in some ribbon as a tuck spot, and the only thing I have in here right now is a really tiny book that I made from some papers. In the very center, I made this accordion book that has as many things about fairies and birds and things like that. Woodland kinds of information I pulled out of an old encyclopedia. Okay, so there's that. And then the last pull out, I used some clear packaging from the stickers that the butterflies came in, and I just like cut a corner off and glued it down and then filled it with butterfly stickers. And this very last little bit, I made a little tiny envelope that I filled up with little heart stickers and put little glittery stickles on there. I hand sewed all of the inside and outside with this little cotton fabric and some embroidery floss. I left a loop on the embroidery floss to tie things to, which include this little Tim Holtz glass bottle that I put some green glitter in, because you gotta have fairy dust, and this really tiny key. They're both hanging on a silk ribbon, and there's room to tie more things on if the recipient likes to do that. Anyway, let me set my camera down for a second. I'll just sit it right here near the fairy. I'm going to just close all of these little things up. Boy, did that come apart. The little book fell out of the ribbon holder, so I might need to secure that a little better. And okay, now the accordion part is all folded down. Everything's folded down. Okay. Now, I twice wrap it with some pink ribbon. And I'm going to tie it with a bow, but you can't watch because I'm using both of my hands. Anyway, here goes the bow tying. La la la. Watching as I struggle with it off camera. Okay, little pink bow. Of course, the recipient might want to tie it with something else and use the bow in her hair. How do I know? Anyway, so that's the fairy lap book made from matchbook covers. And over here, I've made this little tiny gnome out of some air dry clay, and I guess that should be dry tonight and I can paint it and put him in this little box with his fairy girlfriend. And I've made this whole silly mess for my son's girlfriend because she loves fairies and my son loves gnomes, so I thought this would be their little little treasure box. Okay, so that's what I made. I hope Nik the Booksmith likes what I did with the matchbox covers. And Nina Ribena, I think, is doing some kind of special thing with decorating boxes, which I love to do because brie is my cheese, I'll tell you what. Anyway, I also like to make things out of matchboxes. You can get them in different sizes. These are about 2 inches by 1.5 inches, something like that. Okay, also I have this sitting here for a reason. I always like to leave a helpful hint if I have one. This container came from the grocery store. It contained pepperoni and cheese and olives. So after I've eaten my keto snack, I've washed these, and they make really good palettes for when you're painting, or they can hold different beads if you're doing beadwork. I'm sure you can think of plenty of things for these recycled palette dividers. Okay, so like I always say, keep making stuff. I mean it. And these fairies are dancing on the top. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.